let's talk about the Acolyte because yes, I did watch the first 2 episodes. If you haven't watched it and want to, then you should do that now because I'm just going to go ahead and dive straight into the spoilers. I want to preference that I'm not what you consider a Star Wars fan. I appreciate the franchise pre-Disney and what George Lucas accomplished with the story, but that's about it. With that said, let's talk about the Acolyte. Before the show came out, we would get bits of information from the grapevine on what the show would be about, and the premise did sound interesting. They sold it as a murder mystery, which was intriguing, and they managed to hide a big reveal that is integral to the story for the majority of the time, but for whatever reason chose to reveal it in the last trailer just days before the premiere. From what I saw, those that were kinda curious about the show got a little annoyed that this revelation got revealed, but honestly, from what I saw in the first episode alone, there was no real attempt to hide that the main protagonist had a twin, and that she was being accused of her twin's crime. With that addressed, let's talk about the first episode. It starts with the fight from the first trailer, and it's pleasantly one-sided. You can tell that the Jedi Master is significantly holding back, which is a problem since this girl is meant to kill the Jedi. The way she kills her isn't the most believable, but I can suspend my disbelief if they had gone that extra step. I'm no expert, but just by looking at the length of the knives the girl uses, I feel confident in saying that if I got stabbed by one of those, I don't think I'll die immediately. It'll hurt like hell, I know that, but as long as it doesn't hit anything vital and I don't get stabbed more than once, I'm pretty sure I'll live. However, when the Jedi gets stabbed, you can see half of the blade sticking out. If the assassin had used the Force to push the blade in, maybe even all the way through her, then I would have believed in the earning of that death. Now let's address the girl real quick, and I cannot for the life of me remember her name. I've heard her described as an assassin, but I don't know if that's what she's officially called. In the first episode, she's confronting the Jedi in the middle of a busy tavern and instructs the Jedi to attack her because apparently she goes by a code that won't allow her to attack unless she's attacked first. I'm speculating. All of this makes no sense and defeats the whole purpose of what an assassin is, if that's what she is. After the tavern fight, it cuts to the other twin, our main protagonist, and honestly, if the trailer hadn't spoiled it, you catch on pretty quick on what's going on, especially after the conversation between the 2 Jedi at the Jedi Temple, which is pretty much at the beginning of the show, so you don't even have that much time to speculate. Before getting into episode 2, I want to talk about the other characters real quick. This alien girl right here, Daphne, I like her. I think she's cute and she has a pleasant personality. I don't know why, but recently it seems that the side characters almost always are the more likable character than most of the protagonists. With that said, I don't have anything against Mai's character so far. She's humble, which I appreciate. It's refreshing considering most female protagonist characters nowadays are often written to be confident, which comes off arrogant. As for Yord's character, he's kind of annoying. I don't know if he's supposed to be that straight-laced student that follows the rules to a T, but there's something off about him. In the first episode, he is sent to retrieve Mai for questioning. Mai greets him like an old friend because they trained together before she dropped out. Honestly, I don't even know if that's even possible. Anyway, I get why he's being distant at first. She's being accused of murdering a Jedi Master and he wants to keep it as professional as possible. However, if they think she defeated and killed a Jedi Master, wouldn't it make more sense to send another Jedi Master, maybe even more, to apprehend her? He's only a Jedi Knight. Regardless, he's keeping his distance from her and it's coming off as if something personal happened between them, at least for him. She doesn't seem bothered at all by his behavior. Even after they learn that she's innocent in the second episode, he still has a stick up his ass around her. This has me questioning if maybe he likes her or maybe he confessed his feelings to her and she didn't reciprocate. Either way, that's what his behavior is alluding to, at least for me. Now on to episode 2, and my god, did this episode piss me off. One scene in particular. In this episode, the bad twin is trying to kill another Jedi Master. However, this one has been in a deep meditative state for 10 years and is protected by a Force shield. She can't get near him to touch him, let alone kill him. So she goes to a apothecary to have a poison developed to kill him, and at first I thought it was going to be some kind of gas poison. This scene infuriated me, but it didn't piss me off. We'll get to that one next. When she gets the poison, she sneaks back into the temple, and let me just show you what she does.
I offer you a choice. Confess your crime to the Jedi Council, or receive the forgiveness you seek. Right here, right now, from me.
Forgive me. We thought we were doing the right thing.
This is giving me Kill Bill-esque vibes. Something immoral was done to this girl or her family by these 4 specific Jedi, and she's seeking revenge for it. Apparently, whatever they did was so immoral and went against their Jedi code that this guy has been coping by disconnecting himself from the world. She comes in and offers him redemption if he drinks the poison, but here's the thing. Why didn't she say this when she was first there and discovered that she couldn't touch him? By the logic in this show and the characters, wouldn't he receive greater redemption if he had allowed himself to be killed by her hands specifically? If he was so morally distraught by what he did, wouldn't he have already offed himself as an act for redemption, especially since it appeared that they thought she was already dead? So him sticking around for 10 years was more for his sake than it was for her. This scene makes no sense, but what happened next just tipped me over the edge. I also want to preference that this has all happened simultaneously. Mai and her former master makes their way to the temple, and the Jedi stationed there are taking them directly to the meditating Jedi. I want to make that clear. There's no cutscene, there's no wait here in this room for X amount of time. They are directly being taken to the Jedi. As they're being led there, Mai sees a hallucination of her younger self and follows her in a different direction. Yor follows Mai, but she doesn't know he's following her. Please keep all this in mind. When it cuts to the dead Jedi, Mai is the first one to walk in from a different entrance. She checks to see if he has a pulse, he doesn't, and finds the bottle. After that, the rest of the group walks in and Mai pleads her innocence. It takes a moment, but eventually, Yord appears from the same entrance she did and confirms her innocence. You really need to watch it for it to sink in just how brain dead this entire sequence is. I am literally at a loss for words. I am struggling to figure out what to say next. Let's address this bit by bit. First off, why was Mai led down that specific path? Her sister did not take that path. The first time she was there, she went in the main entrance to get to his room. Second time, she came down from the skylight. If her sister had used that back entrance, then I could understand Mai being led in that direction, but since she didn't, her veering off from the rest of the group makes no sense. This makes me wonder if something was cut and that's why this feels so disjointed. That has to be it. I am desperately trying to make this make sense. I really am. As for the Jedi Master, how the did he not know that she had left his side? I don't fully know how the Force works, but even if he couldn't feel she had left his side, he at least could have heard that she wasn't walking behind him. But maybe I'm just nitpicking at this point. As for Yord, if he was following her, he should have been the second one to enter that room, but instead he was the last. I don't know why, but I get the suspicious feeling that he did that on purpose to make her squirm. There is something there. He has to have some kind of resentment towards her, and I'm curious to know what it is. The rest of the episode was uneventful and the twins finally get to see each other face to face. Honestly, the first 2 episodes were pretty boring because you've seen this story done before. It's not new and the execution was not unique. Even when it's placed in the Star Wars universe, nothing caught my attention that urges me to want to watch the rest of this series, except for that tweet that Alan from Film Thread made, warning that episode 3 would kill Star Wars for the majority of pre-Disney Star Wars fans. Out of morbid curiosity, I would like to know what he's talking about, but I might not even recognize it. Time will tell. That's it for me. My brain is fried. I just really wanted to talk about those specific scenes and get them out of my head. In the end, I wouldn't say that this is a bad show, but I wouldn't call it good either. It was meh. I don't know what else to call it. But if you liked it, more power to you. I'm glad you're enjoying the show, and let me know what you think. Did you watch the first 2 episodes? Did you like it or didn't like it? I want to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.